Okay, so we're here today to talk about closed syllables. And before we continue with this presentation, I want you to think about these three questions that are on the screen. Number one, what is a closed syllable? Number two, how is it different from an open syllable? And number three, why is it important for me to know the difference? Now, when you think about that last question, I want you to think about if you come to a word that you don't know in a text. If you're going to try to decode it, what would you use? Would you use strategies? What would it be? So what is a closed syllable? So if you look right here, a closed syllable is a syllable that ends in a consonant. When a syllable ends in a consonant, the vowel before it says its short sound. So if you look at your two example words, met and beg. Now, if you didn't know these words, you would have to decode them. Et, b, eg. Now, we know that because they end in a consonant, the two vowel sounds are short. So if you didn't know this word, you would be able to decode it because you would know that it's a closed syllable. Let's look at a harder word. Two syllables, basket. In the word basket, both syllables are closed, so both vowel sounds say their short sounds. B, as, k, et. We see the S and the T, so they're both closed in by a consonant, which means both of these vowel sounds are short, a and e. Let's look at two more words. Here's the word napkin. Okay, now we're going to talk about how to divide these based on the patterns. But if I were to look at here, you see how they broke it down by two syllables, napkin. We know that these are both consonants, which means that these vowel sounds are short. Now let's look at this word, robot. This is actually an open syllable, robot. If it is not closed in by a consonant, then the vowel sound is long, robot. Since bot is closed and it ends with a consonant, we know that this vowel sound is short. So whereas this is long, O, we know that this says ah, robot. Now there's a video in here that's linked and the sound will not work while I'm doing this recording. So what I'll do is I'll link it in, and when you view this presentation on your own, I'd like you to look at it because this is actually how you use the syllable division process to divide words or decode words with a VC-CV pattern, meaning vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. So we're going to do a few words together, and then I want you to do these on your own. So let's look at the first three. Let me move over here. Okay. So if I were to look at these words, this is how I would do the syllable division process. The first step is I would locate the vowels. I would label the vowels. So in this first word, an A and an I. Second step would be to label the consonants in between the vowels. So this is a VC-CV pattern. When you see a VC-CV pattern, you split it in between the two consonants. So I'd split it right here. So now, when I look, these are both two closed syllables because they're closed in by consonants, meaning that these two vowel sounds are short, rabbit. So let's try number two. Same thing. First thing I do is I label the vowels, I and E. Step two, label the consonants between your vowels, C, C. What's step three? That's right, you split it between the two consonants. So, same thing here. We see the R and the N, which are both two consonants, meaning these are both two closed syllables, meaning that both the vowel sounds are short. Dinner. Now, let's look at this word. This word is diner. And we'll get more into the syllable division process for this, but I want you to look at the difference between it. You've got 2 consonants in dinner and 1 consonant in diner. This is actually a open syllable because it ends in a vowel. That's how we can figure out the difference. Let's try one more together. Step 1 is what? That's right, label the vowels. E, or I, and E. Step 2, label the consonants. Step 3, split the word between the consonants. Now again, I have 2 closed syllables. Think to yourself, what makes it a closed syllable? If you said because it ends in a consonant, you're correct. If the syllable ends in a consonant, it makes the vowel sound what? Is it short or is it long? That's right, it's short. So if I got to this word in a text and I didn't know how to decode it, now I would, and I'd be able to say this word is winter, dinner, and rabbit. Now if we go back to our presentation, I want you to look at these 3 words. I want you to write them down, and then I want you to try the syllable division process to figure out what these words are. Now, if you already know them, which I'm sure you might, still look and see, okay, if I didn't know these words, how would I figure it out? Okay. Remember, step 1, you label the vowels. Step 2, you label the consonants in between the vowels. Step 3, you divide the word between the 2 consonants. Step 4, you determine if they're open or closed syllables, and then you blend it. Once you've finished these 3 words, you're good to go.